Hello everybody and welcome to Scotland versus England. It's the big one. It's a friendly apparently, but it's never a friendly when these two... I've started already, Scooby-Doo. It's never a friendly when these two teams collide. It's massive for Scotland. It's their World Cup final, for God's sake, and it's being played in Scotland. Scotland unchanged from their game at the weekend. England have made a few changes. You'll see that going around the screen as well. Big question is how good are Scotland against this England side? We'll start off with that Scotland team. Gunn, Portoise, Hendry, Tierney, Hickey, McTominay, McGinn, Robertson, Gilmore, McGregor and Adams. And England, Ramsdale in goal. Walker, Dunk, Guehi, Trippier, Phillips, Rice, Bellingham, Foden, Kane and Rashford. I'd still expect that England team to beat Scotland, and but certainly they'll be up for it. It's a home game for them, and I suppose it's a little bit like the English lion up against the Scottish cats. How many cats does it take to down a lion, which is also a very big cat? We will find out. We will find out. The pundits have been hyping up McTominay, Nathan. I was just talking about this on the United Stand. Pray tell me, I've heard Ali McCoy say this. I'm sure Souness has come out with some similar crap. I can't speak. I can't understand why Scott McTominay's not playing more games for Manchester United. He should be starting. Well, tell us who he should be starting ahead of so we can all have a bloody big laugh. You're talking arse. Absolute arse. He plays well for Scotland, but guess what? Scotland's not a club, it's a country. And ultimately, he ain't good enough to play for his club. It'd be funny if he scores tonight. He probably will. There's the England team for you. Check that out. Can I just give a lovely shout out to the best podcast out there, Goldbridge Saves Football. Brand new episode came out this afternoon. For those people who aren't aware of it, make sure you give it a download and a listen. Links in the video description and the live chat, or just search Goldbridge Saves Football on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcast. Very, very good episode today. We had Angry Ginger on, the most popular ginger in the country, who actually, funnily, isn't Scottish. That's just stereotypical unfairness. Why do people associate ginger with Scotland? I don't know. Iron Brew is orange. I don't see why a Scottish person should stereotypically have ginger hair. Dylan Jones, thank you for your super chat. It's just a friendly, but a bit of banter, says Alistair. It's never a friendly between England and Scotland. Trust me, it's the only game where I think it isn't a friendly, when it's a friendly. Ireland's more ginger. It's going to be a protected characteristic soon, I think, gingerism. So just be very, very careful. I associate... Yeah, look, now, that wasn't the purpose of that conversation. What do you think will get Gareth fired? Because we can't waste another tournament when we have the team. It's just a waste of talent who deserve a trophy, says Nathan. Well, I spoke about this very briefly on the podcast today, because I'm not a big fan of international football anyway. But I actually think, hot take, England are going to win the Euros because the team is better than anybody else in Europe. I don't think France are actually as good as people think they are. And beyond that, beyond England and France, I don't really think that there is. Look, I would back myself to win the Euros with England, and so should you. So I think Southgate, as bad as he is, put it this way. The reason England won't win the Euros is Gareth Southgate. I think it's an open goal. It's a tap-in. So I really do think England are going to win the Euros. I just think we've got too many good players, whether it's Declan Rice, whether it's Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Phil Foden, Marcus Rashford. We've got so many good players that, and a depth of players behind that. Yeah, I think England... Look, I understand why people say England won't win the Euros, but my statement is we should be winning the Euros. And I tell you what, if we don't win the Euros, we have wasted the last... pretty much since the 2020, because I think we should have won the Euros in England, we should have won the World Cup, and we should have won the Euros. And to win nothing, I think what I'm trying to say is, and people won't like this, remember when Spain had that period? I think they won 2 Euros and a World Cup. Somebody in the chat will know, but they had a period where they were comfortably the best team in the world. I think England have just had that 4-year period where they couldn't have won a World Cup and a Euros at least. And my fear is, some of you younger folk may well look back on this like I did in 2002 and go, that was a World Cup for England that we blew because we bottled it. We had the players to win the World Cup in 2002. Brazil won it in Japan. We should have knocked Brazil out. So I think that in my lifetime, I should have seen England win at least one World Cup and one Euros. And my concern is that we stuck with Southgate for too bloody long, and that might cost us a tournament, because there is no doubt in my mind that we should have won the last Euros, we should be winning the next Euros, and sandwiched in between that was the World Cup. Now look, maybe Argentina wanted it more, maybe France certainly wanted it more, but that's not an excuse. I think we had the players to win it. Imagine England playing with a manager. Imagine England with a coach that knows how to actually coach and play decent football. Spain are going to win the Euros, says Mohammed. We're not winning the Euros while Southgate keeps putting Henderson and Calvin Phillips in the starting 11, says Robert. Yeah, Calvin Phillips is starting, by the way. The England team we've been through. Calvin Phillips probably getting his first start in about 12 months. And he's getting it for England. What does that say? Phillips and Rice starting together against Scotland is criminal. It's a friendly and Southgate plays a defensive midfielder. Unbelievable, says Jose. And point of view, Mark says he thinks Dunk and Maguire can stop Mbappe, says Adrian. But you know I wouldn't have Dunk and Maguire trying to stop Mbappe. I'd have Kyle Walker, John Stones, Colwill and Luke Shaw. I think that's a very good international back four. Did you hear his Foden comments, Mark? He's a right hypocrite, says Kyle. Yeah, I need to read those out. Mark, you're looking handsome today, says Dylan. Thank you very much, Dylan. I will read you those Southgate comments out because it did infuriate me as well. I think that he... I just don't know what he's talking about. Basically, he's questioned Phil Foden's central midfield aspirations and said this: he doesn't play centrally for his club, so presumably there's a reason for that. You'd have to speak with Pep, the best coach in the world, who plays him from wide. He's always got the freedom to drift if we play him wide, and that's important, and it depends on the level of game, really. Obviously, in the middle of the park, everybody wants to talk about them with the ball, but there's a lot of detail lost without the ball. I mean, what I find incredibly hypocritical about Gareth Southgate there is, to cover his arse about Foden, he starts talking about club football. So basically he's saying he doesn't play centrally for his club, he plays on the wing, and Pep's the best coach in the world, so you might want to talk to him about that. Okay, should we go and talk about Ten Hag then, about the centre-back that he doesn't even pick, that you start? You bloody hypocrite. Or should we go and talk to Pep about the midfielder that you've started tonight that Pep never starts? So, I mean, I often wonder what Southgate's thinking when he starts opening his gob. He's using club football to, say that Foden shouldn't play in the middle. But then that same manager that he's using as his excuse for that isn't picking Phillips, who he picks. Ridiculous. Leroy talks football. Welcome to the Members Club. Am I seeing this right? Rice and Phillips, why you can't just put the best team out as possible and let them play some football like Phillips don't play for City? And it's the same with Maguire, says Nathan Allen. Barmer, thank you very much as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very, very welcome. That's football. Are you ready for Southgate ball, Goldbridge, says Gareth? He better bloody win tonight. I very, very rarely even watch international football, but I will be watching this one, and I will be expecting a Manchester United win. Right, let me get this going. Not a Manchester United win. I will be expecting a England win. There we go. Oh, have I got... Can I just say this as well? If you're early doors, you're getting a bit of exclusive here. Did you see my video last week with Cal the Dragon? I don't think I've been live on That's Football. Actually, I put a few videos up, but I don't think I've been live, ready to have a chat with you. And look, I want to talk about, we've spoken about polar bears in the past. How many cats, I'm talking domestic cats, this is going to be the big topic of the show. How many domestic cats, I'm thinking, no big, standard cat. How many domestic cats would it take to bring down a Rottweiler dog? Like, Rottweilers are quite big. How many cats would it take to take one of them down? Somebody said to me 3 today. I was like, I think it's going to take a lot more. But what I was also going to say, Cal the Dragon, did you see my video with him? I wasn't particularly happy with that. I think my next challenge, I know who my next goalkeeper is, 50 shots against, and I think I'll do better. I think Cal got me on a bad day, but I still scored a couple of good goals. But we've got another football challenge video coming out tomorrow. It's an absolute banger. All I'm going to say is it's American penalties. So you get 5 penalties where you have to run from the halfway line and take the goalkeeper on. Goldbridge against somebody who's very hot at the moment. So check that out tomorrow on the channel. We're starting to do some football challenges, which I've always wanted to do after people ducking me for years. I don't know why they ducked me. I'm not even that good anymore. I think they were just waiting for me to get arthritis in the back. Nathan Allen says, maybe Foden don't play central for City, Gareth, because De Bruyne plays there, and we all know that's his best position, says Nathan Allen. Saying Scotland versus England is just a friendly is disgusting. It's over 100 years of animosity to his game against England is like a World Cup final, says Jackie Boy. It is. I think it's going to be... I think it's... look, I would say England against Scotland in a friendly is better than England versus Ukraine in a quarter-final of the Euros that we played a few years ago. I think it's got more riding on it in relation to a spectacle because it's actually got passion. They used to play this when I was a kid. They used to play for a trophy. I think it was called the Rouse Cup in the 80s. And yeah, it should have a lot of passion to it. Iron Brew, sponsored by Iron. It's the Iron Brew Cup. I haven't had Iron Brew in ages. Does anyone like Iron Brew? Iron Brew and Tizer. You never see it anymore. I used to love it. Right, come on, lad. Let's kick it off, ref. We haven't got all night. It was meant to be... And also, can I just say what I love about this? 7:45 kickoff. Love 7:45 kickoffs. I'm all here for that. How will England do in the next Euros? Finalists or semi-finalists is winning 36% of you. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. If Southgate mentioned club as an excuse, why is Trippier playing at left back when he hasn't played left back for Newcastle as a Turo? And Mark, can you keep me updated on the Norway versus Georgia score? This is quite an interesting scoreline Wolfie has asked for. Thanks for the super chat, Wolfie, because if I think if it's a draw, then Scotland will automatically qualify tonight. But it's interesting. Look, I'm sure we've got a few United players, fans watching here, maybe some players. McTominay does play very advanced for Scotland. You can clip me up on this if you want. To anybody who says, why does McTominay not start for Manchester United? Look at where he's bloody playing. He's basically playing as a right attacker. How the fuck is he getting in the United side? I hope Nagelsmann beats Southgate ball at the Euros if it comes to pass, says Connor. Has Nagelsmann got the German job? I don't know. You know what? The thing is, though, it's almost like people think McTominay plays centre defensive midfielder for Scotland and then scores goals. He plays in an advanced position. That's why he scores goals. He's basically playing off the right wing tonight. Maybe that's what he's thinking. It's amazing what Maguire and McTominay can do at international level. Ooh, Man United need a right winger. Can I play at the right wing so I can play for Man United? Maybe that's what's going on. Grace says McTominay is better than Bruno. Can we block Grace? There you go. Grace, you're gone. You can't spout shit. That's a blockable offence. You're gone. You're absolutely gone. Grace has just put it in the live chat that Scott McTominay's better than Bruno, and she's been blocked. Or he. Could be a girl, man. I don't know. That's definitely getting clipped. Can we bring Grace back? I did block her. Or him. And... hope the Nagelsmann beats that. I'm just seeing if I can unblock him. I can't see where the bloody chat was now. It moved too quick. England have got an early corner here. Grace, I found you. I've unblocked you now. Grace Sheridan, you'll be able to see them in the chat. They've been unblocked. It was a bit of banter for a bit of a joke. But it was a blockable offence. I've let you off. Lenient bridge. And Scottish keeper jumps up in the air. Really hope Elliott, Anderson, Barnes and Ferguson don't pledge their allegiance to the English team. We just know they'll be wasted under Southgate and only get a few consolation minutes at the end of a game we've already won, says Robbo96. If you're talking about Evan Ferguson, there ain't no way he's going to go and play for England. I'd be disgusted, and as an Englishman, if Evan Ferguson chose to play for England. And I don't think he can anyway, because he plays for Ireland. So, yeah, I don't see that happening. He's Irish. Robble says Mark is a hypocrite. I love comments like that because what am I a hypocrite about? Could be many things. Scotland just hitting long balls. It works at international level. Go on, Bellingham. Go on, Bellingham. Fucking get in there. Ooh. Have it. Have it. Yeah, I don't know how Evan Ferguson even could play for England. He's played 6 games for Ireland, says Vinny. Exactly. Oh, back to the big comment of the day. NAU says 5 cats would do it. 5 raptors kills a T-Rex easily. So we're talking how many domestic cats would it take to down a big dog like a Rottweiler, a Doberman, or not a greyhound, they're skinny, but they're fast, so they could run away. But that's not really, I'm not having a dog that runs away from cats. You know, stand your ground. You're meant to be the dominant force in the house. You know, imagine there's a big dog in your kitchen. It's walked in and it sees 4 cats eating its pedigree chum. It goes in to say, what are you doing? The cats get a bit brave. Could they take a dog down? 4 cats? I don't think so. Have you ever seen this is going to hurt, this is going to upset people, but I've seen it happen. Have you ever seen a Jack Russell attack a packet of hobnobs? 4 seconds and they're all gone, rapping as well. That don't mean the dog's eating hobnobs, doing a bit of M&M. Ticka Slim Shady. I mean, like the rapping of the hobnobs. No, what I was going to say, seriously, I'm with you, Mark. I think the minimum 8 domestic cats to take a dog down. I've seen clips of a Jack Russell dog. Basically, a farmer lifts a shed up, and underneath the shed, there's a load of rats. And I mean, like the real rats, not people who just have questionable morals. They lift it up, and about 50 rats run out. And within the space of 4 seconds, this Jack Russell, honestly, has broken the necks of about 6 rats. It's literally like... And it's like super fast. In fact, I would scrub that down. Why are we being heightist here? We're saying how many cats would it take to take down a big dog? A Jack Russell's small, but they're fast. I think a Jack Russell could take down 5 cats. And the cats are bigger than a Jack Russell, but it's vicious. It just goes straight for the throat. No mercy. Cobra Kai. Love the content, Mark. Keep it up, says NK. And a header over the bar there from Lewis Dunk. Or a pit bull, they're small. Jack Russells are made for killing foxes, says Richard. No, they're not. But you're getting mixed up with a beagle. Not a bagel, a beagle. Jar Jar Binksbridge, says Connor. Don't know what that's all about. We're asking, how many domestic cats would it take to take down a vicious dog? Mark XQC is reacting to your video. Well, hopefully he'll react to it in the right way because, you know, I'm educated on football and we got on quite well. I helped him out a lot in the dressing room. I liked him. I helped him out on the pitch. The evidence is there. I spoke to him afterwards. I said he did the best he could do, but I stand by what I said. We lost that game because we had... there was a very different skill depth between KSI, who's been playing football for years, and XQC, who, bless him, has never played the game. So I've played the game. So I think people are trying to generate some sort of beef when really it's about knowledge of football, and you know, they put him in goal, the sidemen, and bless him, he gave it his best, and he did give it his best, but you know. It's a hard position to play in goal. What I'm saying is, if you're going to do that, like last season, Pieface and Cal were the same level. I'm not going to say what level, but they were the same level. This year, it wasn't the same level, and it wasn't fair. What national anthem do you think is better, Flower of Scotland or God Save the King? And my Jack Russell is scared of everything, so he would lose, says Jackie Boy. Obviously, I'm going to go with the English one. How many domestic cats would it take to take you down, says Lewis. I don't know. You know, cats can be nasty when they want to be. I don't trust cats. I don't trust domestic cats. I don't actually like them when we have got one. I don't like cats. I don't trust the cat. Dogs, I think that they are pretty loyal. Cats, if they were bigger than us, they'd eat us. The only reason cats don't do anything to us is because we feed them and we're bigger than them. Anything smaller than a cat, it's a right bullying little shit. So I don't trust cats. All these people who stroke cats and go, oh, my cat, I love cats. I guarantee if that cat was bigger than you and you tried to stroke it, it would bite your arm off and play with you for about an hour. Carrot says the real question is how many cats would it take to take Kurt Zuma down? Some would call that justice. I'm not getting involved. Anyway, back to the game. I've played the game. Scotland trying to get on the front foot here, but Goldbridge XQC equals Ten Hag versus Sancho, says the contrarian. Not from my side at all. Rashford's got 3 starts in 3 games. Yeah, well, I never think of it like that. But no, I thought Rashford was through there. I never think about it like that. But yeah, I don't like international football. I like this game because it's England-Scotland. It's got something on it. But I do worry about international football when our players are so tired. Tom says, do you think the charity match is one-sided to the sidemen? I think it was this year. And I've said that. I do think it was this year. And as I said on my podcast, what they need to do next year is have a draft. So you've got the 6 sidemen. I don't know why I said 6 so quick. I hope I'm right. And you have 6 core YouTube All-Stars players. Maybe Chris MD, Theo, if he's fit. Philly, Nico, Chunks, and Harry Kane's nearly in. And then you have a draft where the managers, hopefully me, there's 7 sidemen. Well, I obviously know something you don't know. Scotland are in here. Oh no, good tackle. At least I didn't start naming them and I missed somebody out. So there we go. Anyway, I'm just trying to think who they are now. It's like naming people at One Direction. Right, who have I left out? Oh, I know now. Yeah. I'm not telling you who I forgot. Who was the sideman? I forgot. Anyway, the pre-match... I didn't actually forget anybody. It's just when I didn't actually count all the names out. The pre-match speech you gave was impressive. Which manager did you try to emulate from the Simeone, of course, says Mel. I preferred my pre-match speech last year because it was more off the cuff. This year there was a load of things I wanted to say and then I felt it was too long, so I had to get rid of the middle bit. I had a big bit about porn, which I wanted to bring in, but I completely forgot about it. Had to get cut. You should play next year instead of coaching, says Lee. Anyway, yeah, I think there should be a draft where the 2 managers get picks. So if I was the manager next year, I'd get the first pick because we lost. bit like the NFL. I think that would be great. Imagine if there was a draft like they do in the NFL, the Sidemen Charity Game draft. So, they have this big draft thing with the players, and then you get to pick them and stuff. It would add another great level, because surely they're going to do it at Wembley next year. So that would be brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it would make great content as well. It was an amazing event, yeah. As I said on the pod, we spoke about a lot of it on the podcast. So listen to the podcast. But Goldbridge Saves Football, really good podcast. That sounds really arrogant, but no, it was a really good podcast today. We had Angry Ginge on, and it was good. 45 years old and watches the Sidemen, says Paul. My granddad was 82 and he watches porn. What's your point? My mate's grand's 73 and she still plays she still plays FIFA. If you're not that, you know what I'd say about age? If you're not that age, how can you talk about it? Like, when I was 35, I still did a lot of the things when I was 18. You'd be surprised until you live that age, you won't understand. A lot of the things you were doing at 18, you'll still be doing at 50. Trust me. I think you know what I'm talking about. Goldbridge ball or Southgate ball? Oh, Goldbridge ball. The principle. Imagine what Goldbridge ball would do with these English players who actually can do it. I like to play out from the back with my goalkeeper, higher line, always looking for a pass and move, one-touch passing. It's always about the pass. Confidence, no fear, all part of a team. The thing is, people say it wouldn't work at a higher level. It would work better at a higher level because you'd have the players to do it. It's actually harder to get players to play Goldbridge ball when they've never kicked a ball in their life and they're sat there at half-time YouTubing how to kick a ball. Literally happened on Saturday. 80% pass rate across 90 minutes. 80% successful pass rate with amateurs, some of which have never played the game. Sidemen's was 68%. Yes, they won, but the principles was the passing game was still very good. Duke Dennis was fantastic considering he'd never played the game. Athlete, absolute athlete. Paul Matt says, I'm 37, Mark, so you're wrong. Strange. So Paul Matt's 37, and now he speaks for everybody over 35 that watching content on YouTube, porn, playing FIFA is completely unordinary for anybody over the age of 35 because Paul Matt said so. Paul, your name's Matt, but actually you should change the M with a T and add a W. You're a twat, not a tat. Anyway, probably a crap question, but if you were offered the Liverpool job and Scotland job, what would you pick and why, says Jackie Boy. You should manage the Sidemen, says Toaster. I would manage the Sidemen, but as I said today on the podcast, I think Billy Wingrove's got the easiest job in football. I mean, it's almost like Southgate, but he does it well. Like, imagine the Sidemen with Goldbridge ball. We'd blitz it. But, I like Billy, and he's been given the easier job twice in a row. Did you ever ask Fozzie to play as your goalie in the Sidemen game? I don't pick the team, Robbo. I don't pick the team. I get given the players and I get told who the goalkeeper is and that they've got to play for 90 minutes every year. This is what I mean. There should be a draft. Mark, will Sancho ever play for United again, says United Nate. I think so. Foden just had a shot over the bar, by the way. The game is on Channel 4, Lucas. I don't know why Channel 4 have got England highlights. Personally, I'm always up for a little bit of, something a little bit out of the ordinary. But Channel 4 and football, if it's not Italia, if it's not Italian football on a Sunday afternoon or a highlights package on Saturday morning, I don't think Channel 4 should venture into the football world. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to me. It'd be like Jeremy Clarkson starting to be, a gamer on Twitch. He's a very entertaining person, Jeremy Clarkson, but he's never going to be a gamer on Twitch. And I feel that Channel 4 and football doesn't mix. The Contrarian says, the charity match definitely feels tilted to the side men. It would be even more entertaining if you had a more balanced, competitive team while still maintaining the comedic moments. Yeah, look, 100%. I just think that the whole point with these things is that you learn every year. I mean, they had one charity game where they lost 2-0. I don't remember it. And you should never have a charity game where it's 2-0 and they don't even score. So, look, I think there's always a lean towards goals. Last year was perfect. It was 8-7 and it could have gone either way. Perfect, entertaining. This year, I think there was a little bit of work to do. But also, let's not forget, Theo Baker's injury really was a major problem for us. We had 3 big injuries in the first half. 2 players couldn't play again. People forget about the lad who came on at right back with the hat on. And obviously Theo Baker as well. So we were fucked. What should have happened is I should have been provided with a kit and I should have come on. Imagine that. That would have been content. Rashford's in. No, he's took a bad touch. He's gone a bit wide. He wants to get back on his right. He's going to be greedy. No, he's not. He's played a pass. That's a penalty. What are you talking about? He's put his flag up. He's put his flag up. It's a late flag. That would have been a penalty on Bellingham. Marcus Rashford, yeah, born offside. Offside again. You know what? Rashford reminds me a little bit of Speed. I was saying this to Speed at half time. Just watch the line. You're quicker than them. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand it with Speed because he's hardly ever played the game. But I said to him, look, you're quicker than them. But you're going before them. Purposely wait. Give them a yard and then run and you'll beat them. And it's the same with Rashford. He's quicker than them. But some players just find it hard to stay onside. It wasn't a penalty because Rashford was offside. Marcus says, please wish my nan happy birthday. She would have been 132 today. Yeah, well, you twat. Marcus, we were talking about this the other day. I don't know where we were talking about, but this has happened to me a couple of times in the last 6 months. I think once I saw it on Facebook from somebody, and once I was actually at an event and somebody said it, and I just couldn't get my head around it. So basically what they said is, let's talk about the Facebook post. It was something along the lines of, miss your gran. She would have been 128 today. Never stop thinking about you. And I was like, I don't mind the fact that you miss her. The fact that you were about 3 when she died makes me think you probably didn't know her as well as you thought you did. But she'd been dead for about 40 years, basically. 128, that's what the birthday was. But how can you say she would have been 128 today? Nobody fucking lives to 128. Celebrate their birthday, but don't pretend like, they'd have been down the pub, on the chairs, dancing to Erasure, 10 Jaeger bombs in. Scotland have done nothing so far. Also, is there any chance videos like cooking, walking, driving with Goldbridge are going to be back? Nearly read walking wrong. That would be a video no one wants to watch. Asani, they will be back. Yes, they will be back. Now that the transfer window's closed, gives me more time to do that. And Basil says, in my view, the Scottish national team has been crap for a while. This crap turns out be my favourite. Which group of the Scottish national team has been watchable for you, says Basil. Interesting. Best Scottish team I can remember was probably Euro 96. They were competitive in Euro 96. I'm talking Gary Mack, Ali McCoist. I think obviously Colin Hendry was playing there. Andy Gorham. They were not a bad team then in 96. Scotland. Italia 90. I think they were in that. I don't really remember them there. 98 they were there. But I think Euro 96 was probably their best team I can remember. What did you think of Kai Sennett? I put my hands up. I didn't really know who he was. I think I'd seen him on some things with Speed before, but again, really nice guy. They were, you know what? We taken away the football side of it, of which some of them admittedly were concerned about the fact they'd never played the game before. Really nice selection of lads. There's in both years I've done the Sidemen, considering, there's a lot of people playing for the Sidemen team as well. Never met an arsehole, which in this industry is unbelievable. Like in the football space that I work in, most of them are arseholes, vindictive, shallow, insecure, stab you in the back for a brand deal. But in that space, just incredibly nice people from all around the world as well. I mean, obviously people like Castro. We missed him this year. He's a legend. Noah Beck was really nice. Wasn't here this year. Harry Pinero wasn't here this year. But really, really, really good group. And I think they need to keep that, by the way. I think you should have players that have never played the game because obviously they're big stars and it's a charity event and that means more money gets raised. I'd just share it out a little bit. Lovely ball by Rashford into Bellingham. What can he do? He overcooks the cross. Or does he? Kyle Walker wants a shot and he shoots wide. He's had a sniff. He wants another sniff. And this time it was a bad sniff because he's put it wide. Thanks for the super chat, Basil. I don't remember 1978, so I can't talk about the 1978 Scottish team. What's your favourite English team of all time? I think the best English footballing side was probably Euro 96, but my favourite English side was 90. That's the team that I fell in love with. RK says, blocking and berating the subscribers that made you because you now have a lot. What's wrong with Goldbridge? RK, you're thick. I'm not even going to block you for being so thick. It was a joke. The person got blocked, and then when the joke was over, they got unblocked. Grace is still in the chat. You overreacting, sensationalist, cancel culture, prat. I'm loving the stream tonight. Bobby Robson era, says Jamie. The Bobby Robson era was up and down. Bloody hell. If you can remember Euro 88, we were bloody shite. Nice kit, nice tracksuit. I had it, but we were rubbish. But World Cup 86, Mexico, we were quite good in that. Love the podcast today, says Armin. Thank you very much. Don't forget to give it a download. You can listen to it later. Might get you in the mood. But to go to sleep. Yeah, make sure you listen to it. It's a fantastic podcast. It's doing really well. And we had Angry Ginge on today, who was an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Don't necessarily agree with him about Pickford, but you can give a listen to that. Big Sam era was epic, says United Nate. I can't speak. Leroy Toix Football says, who would you take as the next England manager? For me, I'd probably go with... Well, Potter is available and he's better than Southgate. Eddie Howe could be available. Lovely ball by Bellingham. I've just seen a brilliant ball by Bellingham. Walker's cross, not good enough, and he knows it. But that pass by Bellingham, well, you may as well call him sat-nav. But he's better than a sat-nav. He's a sat-nav that has avoided all tolls and congestion charges and temporary traffic lights. It was a brilliant pass. Don't worry, Mark, I forgive you, says Grace. Mistakes happen. Yeah, Grace, you've just sat down that other prat who said I blocked you as well. So you are now back in the gang. Please play Red Dead again. It's an amazing game, says Ghazi. I will never play Red Dead again because I basically moved my PlayStation and when I logged it back on, my save on Red Dead had gone. What are you supposed to do? You know, you try and get in contact with... Rockstar Games or Sony about that and see what reply you get, because I bloody well did. I sent them both an email and I said I was about 75% through the game. I was streaming, people really enjoyed it. I moved my PlayStation and my data file has gone, and they said, well, you must have deleted it by accident. I said I think I'd know about that, and I didn't do it. And what are you going to do about it? And they said, look, it's really unfortunate. We suggest you start playing the game again because there is absolutely no way that we can find a save on your individual PS5 for Red Dead. And I said, well, that's very, very disappointing. And I left it at that. But there was hours and hours of play. And also, I'm not doing it. Did you enjoy the charity match? I did. I did enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much as last year because I just felt disappointed. I don't like losing. Is FIFA coming back, Mark? Says Jack. Keep an eye on that. There might be something coming back. I'll tell you what is going to come back. My November charity stream. Over the last 3 years, we've raised over £100,000 for charity. People with terminal illness. That will be back in the November international break as per usual. Would you take Angry Ginge at centre-back for United this season? Says Alex. I probably, not on a serious note, no. But he's a better version of Maguire. He reminds me of Maguire when he was good. So it's a boring match, says Keith. Yeah, you can tell that by what we're talking about. If we had a good manager, Win would win back-to-back World Cups like 2 shots against the Scotland team. He has to go tonight, says Nathan. Italy have scored as well, says United. What was your tea tonight? Chicken fajitas. 67% possession for Man United. No shots on goal for Scotland at home. They look rubbish. Anish has started a cookie shop making a type of influenced on Danish butter cookies. You have been there for my graduation first job and now this is Anish. He started a cookie shop. Give him a clap. Anish, that's great news. I love to hear about people's success. Somebody will start saying, I've just started my job as a porn star. Yeah, we'll get all the lies coming in now, but that's definitely true. How can you give a foul against Bellingham there? Take your whistle out your mouth. You know what? This referee won't take his whistle out his mouth. He's just walking around with a whistle in his mouth. Look, the trouble is, people who walk around with a whistle in their mouth, it's all well and cool when it's going well. But you trip over and swallow that whistle. Worst case scenario, you're going to choke and potentially die. Best case scenario, every time you breathe, you're going to make a whistling noise and look like a right idiot. People are going to hear you coming. You're never going to be able to sleep with somebody because when you go to sleep, all they're going to hear is a whistle that's going to keep them awake at night. So, as I've said before, and I'll keep saying this, don't walk around with a whistle in your mouth trying to be cool. Always have your hand on it because if you trip, your hand will take it out your mouth. Did any England coach get you excited when Capello was appointed? I was convinced they would win something, says Shahin. I used to get excited about England, but I can honestly say that McLaren, Capello, Hodgson, Allardyce, Southgate haven't excited me at all. Ericsson I was interested in, see what he could do. Keegan, not really. Hoddle, I was like, Venables excited me. Bobby excited me. Sir Bobby Robson. Here's Foden. Lays it into Rashford, to Bellingham. I think Rashford's offside again. Hit it first time, Kyle Walker. Goal, but I think there's an offside in the build-up. No, he's given the goal. Scotland want an offside. I think it's 1-0 to England. To me, Rashford did look like he'd wandered offside in the build-up. We'll take a look at that. But it's Kyle Walker's shot that deflects in off Phil Foden. The Man City connection. Foden getting in the way, I would say. But let's have a look. Did Rashford stray offside? Doesn't look like he will. No, he looks onside to me there. Lays it off to Kyle Walker. I mean, Foden's either done a very, very quick, purposeful deflection here, or it's just hit him and gone in. Let's have a look at it again. Kyle Walker smacks the ball. No, that's just a brilliant finish by Foden. It's not a deflection. He's got his feet into position. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant by Foden. Brilliant quick feet by Foden there. Absolutely brilliant. On first look, it looks like it's deflected off him. He's actually passed it in. He's got so... Foden's potential is so high. Hi, Mark. What games are you going to cover this weekend, says Ryan. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So, I mean, look, it's a miss hit by Kyle Walker, but the feet by Foden it's magical. To get your feet done that quick, really good. Did look to the naked eye, whatever that means. It looked like it was Rashford offside and it hit Foden, but in reality, Rashford wasn't offside and Foden actually moved his feet to pass it into the back of the net. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. I don't know what we're doing for subscribers, but bottom right-hand corner, get involved with That's Football. You're all very, very welcome on here. We've had some cracking chats already. I've lost count of the good stuff we've spoken about. And what watch-alongs are you going to do this weekend, Mark? Well, I know Arsenal-Everton on Sunday is definitely one, which is at Goodison Park. We've got the return of the Champions League next week. So next Tuesday night, it starts with, I think we're doing Newcastle against AC Milan, followed by, I won't do Man City, Red Star Belgrade. So I'm going to do AC Milan against Newcastle at 5:45 next Tuesday. Wednesday night, obviously, it'll be Man United on the United stand. Sunday, Premier League game will be Everton-Arsenal. There is no Friday night game in the Prem. And on Saturday, Man United, Brighton will be the 3 o'clock game I do. Oh, lovely cross in again. Scotland are in trouble. Rashford makes it 2. No, it's not Rashford, it's Bellingham. I keep seeing the number 10 on the back and thinking it's Rashford. He wears number 11 for England. Number 10 for England is Jude Bellingham. It's not Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-2. It's Scooby 2-0 here at Scotland. I can't remember where it is, but it's in Scotland, and it's Scooby 2-0, and it's Jude Bellingham who has made it 2-0. And I tell you what, easy. This is the reality bite. Reality bite for Scotland. This 2-0 down. We are easily beating this lot. The skill gap's too big. I'd say this is the equivalent of Manchester City playing Plymouth. It's that much of a gap for Scotland. And you know, my thoughts go out to the Scots. You're very nice people. I like Iron Brew and battered Mars bars and Edinburgh, and I quite like Travis, the band, as well. And Sean Connery, rest in peace. But in footballing terms, your boys are taking one hell of a beating here. It is what it is. You've got to call it out for what it is. I think you will qualify for the Euros, but look at that. No shots at all and no shots on target. That's poor for 36 minutes. You've been nowhere in this game. 32% possession. What tactics does Clark play? Because why can't they just get the ball down and pass? Bit of Goldbridge ball for 10 minutes. Just get the ball. Back yourselves. Little passes. Keep possession. Fancy losing to Southgate ball. Oh, checking for a possible penalty here. Oh, get out. Shut up. You can't be giving... No. Are they checking? No, he says play on. What was that all about? Checking for a possible penalty. Have a word. Consider playing The Last of Us Part 1. I think you will appreciate the brutality of the game and how the characters are written. I love your stream, says Les. I don't even know what they were looking for a penalty for. Favourite book? Mine's Dracula by Stroke. Oh, yeah, Lee. Very, very good. Here we go. Bellingham. He's having a great game. He's having a great game. He's having a great game. Oh, he's had a bad pass there. He's got caught in two minds. He's tried to play it to Foden and Rashford, and he's played it to neither. Tim Brown says, Rashford, what was that? There's a lot of people getting Rashford and Bellingham mixed up. And not in a bad way. It's because Bellingham is wearing 10. And obviously Rashford wears 10 for Manchester United. And Bellingham is playing on the left a lot. Bellingham is world class. Our poll is over for how will England do in the next Euros. Number one spot with 32% of you voting, finalists or semi-finalists. 26% went with quarter-finalists. Ooh. Cross into the box. This, you know what? This is why Maguire plays well for England. It's fucking easy. That's why it's easy to play for England. And this is what Mark means. This team is too good. We will win a trophy down to individual brilliance, same as Ollie nearly did at United. This England team, managed by somebody who knows how to coach football, would be virtually unstoppable. I mean, imagine this England team coached by, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how low to go because Southgate wouldn't get a job in the Premier League. So I could almost say, imagine this team managed by Marco Silva of Fulham or Thomas Frank of Brentford. I mean, imagine this team managed by De Zerbi. You know, people say imagine it managed by Pep. Screw that. I think you're going way too high. I mean, I really would say, you know, imagine this team managed by Eddie Howe. Imagine this team managed by the Bournemouth coach. You know, I think there's a lot of Premier League managers that would make this English team even better. As I said before, this England team should be winning the World Cup and the Euros with the quality it's got. I think it will be this. It's because of who's coaching us that makes me doubt it. But I think we'll win the Euros next year. Would you like to see Bielsa in charge as XY? Oh, man, come on. You know, Bielsa reminds me of me in a way. He has this philosophy of football that, you know, doesn't necessarily mean he wins everything, but of a lot, just a genius way of, well, not even a genius, you know, but just a great way to play football. I don't know why any coach, when they want to coach, would go, I really want to play percentage football, loft it up long and try and win the second balls. I've always wanted to do that. I mean, surely the principle of anybody that plays or manages or coaches football is to play good football. But you know why people don't do it? Because it's hard. It's hard to get a team to play good football because you've got to get everybody coached. They've got to understand their role. They've got to understand what the philosophy is from back to front. Whereas if you play percentage football, you don't. Yellow card. Yellow card. Kelvin Phillips seemed to get the... Well, no, that is a yellow card. He went through the back of him. Getting a little bit tasty. Good. We like a bit of that. We like a bit of push and shove. Oh, yellow card. Oh, this referee doesn't know what he's doing. Giving out yellow cards for pushing. The game's gone mad. The game's gone mad. Who would you start in goal for England? Well, let's do a poll, Premier League. We haven't done a poll for a few minutes. I would go, who should be England keeper? And I would say, well, you're going to get a choice. I'm actually going to do 3 here. I'll do 3. Pickford, Ramsdale, or Pip. I know who I would go with, but I'll go quite. Still not had a chance on target yet, Scotland. So the FA said Gareth stayed because there was no English coach to take over after the Euro finals, but Potter is available now, so just go get him, says Nathan Allen. Who are the 3 goalkeepers then? Because somebody just said that Pope hasn't even been picked, Mark, which surprises me. I'm surprised. Johnston. Sam Johnston. That's weird. Well, there you go. Southgate loves players that don't get picked for their club team. So Sam Johnston will probably be playing in goal in the Euros while he's second choice to Dean Henderson at Palace. What sort of team would Southgate get a job at, says Kevin Wright. Can we have serious answers here? I'd go with Ramsdale, by the way. Southgate wouldn't get the Grimsby job, says Oliver. Seriously, I don't see Gareth Southgate getting a job in the Premier League last year. I think this year he could get a job at Luton or Sheffield United, maybe Burnley, but I don't see anybody else giving him a job. Will McTominay score, Mark, or do you think he will save it for the likes of Cyprus and Uzbekistan, says Shane? Well, they haven't had a shot on goal, mate, so I've got to be honest. Have you even noticed Scott McTominay in this game? I didn't even know he was playing. And then he just makes a tackle on Bellingham. Dean Henderson probably believes he should be England #1, says Justin. Scooby-Doo. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. We'll check what we're doing for that at the moment. Johnston won't lose his spot at Palace. Henderson has it all to prove after spending seasons whining about his ability, says the SP. Oh, talking about Dean Henderson, don't miss the video tomorrow I've got coming out, the Football Challenge video, American penalties. Goldbridge against the mystery who was involved in the Sidemen game at the weekend. There is a bit of a Dean Henderson, Randy Orton moment from me where I'm pounding the floor with my fist, not with my groin. Well worth a watch tomorrow. I think it's out at about 2 o'clock tomorrow. Frustrated. I was frustrated. We're only 10 subscribers away from 15,000, 1,015,000. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thanks everyone for getting involved. Love this channel. We've got so much different content on here now. It's not just watch-alongs or topical videos on, the big stories. We've also got football challenges. We've got little clips from the podcast. We've got an interview with a Premier League player on Friday coming up. Check that out. So lots to get involved with on That's Football, and everybody's welcome here. That's the great thing about it. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Dylan Jones, cut my hand on a fan, Mark. I thought you said a fanny. How do you do that? Bellingham's through. They've caught up with him. Plays it into Foden. Right foot, Foden. Oh, Harry Kane could have had a goal there. He could have gobbled it up. And Foden's like, where are you? You've gotten me through some tough times, says Liam, over the years. We all appreciate how much hard work you put in. Keep up the great work. Thank you, says Liam. Thank you, Liam, says Goldbridge. And it could have been 3-0 there. Harry Kane, for some reason, didn't attack the back post. Half-time, link up between Bellingham and Foden has been fantastic from England. In my opinion, Calvin Phillips looks way off the pace. That's what happens when you're not playing football. Scott McTominay invisible, and Harry Kane a little bit off the pace as well, to be honest. Good Scott youth though, especially Neil, says Dixie. Don't know what that's all about. Foden is class, says Amty, and England are only in 4th gear as well. I've said it before. I'll say it again to you now. I think that England are going to win the Euros, and there's your negative person. I think the only thing I'm going to sit here and say, I said it on the podcast today, I think England are going to win the Euros, and the reason I'm going to say it is because that team right there is too good. It's too good. Those individuals are too good, and I know we've got people like John Stones to come back, and Luke Shaw will be important. Maybe it's not the first choice goalkeeper, but England should be winning the Euros in the summer. And I think the only thing that will stop us winning the Euros is Southgate, because I think we should be winning the Euros. Funny how Rashford looks better with better players. Even funnier how the majority of the United fans doesn't get that, says Natey. I don't know that England players are better than United players, really. And Southgate's certainly not a better coach than Ten Hag. Don't agree with your point. If I'm being completely honest, but there you go. Talking about the podcast, please do give it a download. Links in the video description. I've also pinned it in the live chat. Just click the Spotify link and download it for later, or give it a listen later. Brand new episode out. There's a load more that you can listen to as well. Finally doing a podcast. Loving doing a podcast. Make sure you support it and join a different platform, which is different, but good. Rashford's been very good, says Mahed. Let's just do the goalkeeper situation. So who should be England's starting goalkeeper? We did this about 5 minutes ago. The results are in. 23% of you have gone with Nick Pope, and 23% of you have gone with Jordan Pickford, but a massive 54% have gone with Ramsdale. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that Ramsdale should be England's number one. The question is, should he be Arsenal's number one? I'm a big fan of Raya, but yeah. I've just seen an advert for EAFC, formerly FIFA. Very funny. I tweeted it out the other day. The top 5 players on EAFC, and it had, I think Haaland was there, and it had 2 Barcelona players I'd never heard of, and I was like, bloody hell, I need to watch Barcelona. How do I not know these 2 players? And then I remembered they were women, because the game this year is just putting it in all together, isn't it? So I was like, oh, that makes sense. I don't know whether anyone else did that, but there was these 2 Barcelona players. I didn't know the names. I was like, have they got two generational talents I wasn't aware of then? But it'll be interesting on EAFC. I don't know whether anybody plays Ultimate Team, but I mean, this is completely an answer for me. So when you play Ultimate Team this year, will it have men and female players in the game together, or will So will we? If I play Ultimate Team this year, which I probably bloody won't, could I be playing a team that's got men and women in it? Because I've never noticed that before. No offence, but the English goalkeepers seem like players from other sports who were good with their hands and converted to goalkeepers in football. They could play in 1994. I'd take Pope, though, says Basil. Thank you very much. Yes, they're together. They are together. Fergus says, what's this got to do with the match? Fergus, what's this got to do with the match? Swivel on it. We were talking about how many cats it would take to take down a Jack Russell. In the first half, so I think talking about a footballing computer game is absolutely fine. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, having female and male players on FIFA or EA. I don't really mind at all. I would say that there should be an option to not have them, or just have exclusively women or exclusively men as well, because it will never happen in real life. So Ultimate Team will never happen in real life as well. I love solving the conversation live in my head, but I don't know about that. Will it be a good thing? Will it be a bad thing? Will it be an indifferent thing? I mean, it really isn't real anyway. It's a computer game. So, but aesthetically, they will look different to men in most cases, not all the time, as we've seen. But I just think it's a little bit like when you play pro clubs and you've got a winger who's 5'5" with purple hair, and then you've got a forward who is 9 foot with no hair. It just aesthetically does look a little bit odd. But I understand why they've done it, and I'm completely for it. Not just because I don't want to get cancelled, but also because I don't want to get anybody, upset anybody. But I just think that, not every, maybe some people just want to play with women. Maybe some people will just want to play with men. Not in a sex way, in an Ultimate Team way. I certainly would say this. If it was career mode, I don't want to see women in it. Because that's not real. I do career mode because I want to feel like I'm managing Man United in the Premier League and hopefully the Champions League. But in the Ultimate Team thing, I get it. Yeah. It's a bit of a Jane Bond situation, says Cav. Well, yeah, absolutely, exactly, if that's what you think. It's propaganda, says Chris. And Ultimate Team is and never was real, says NGN. I think in a way it might make it really good, because instead of everybody having Messi and Ronaldo, they might have some of these. If 2 of the women in the game are in the top 5 players in the game, then a lot of people are going to have women in their team, aren't they? It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've said this before. Will there ever be a woman that can swim faster than a shark? That's a line from The Office, and it was a man. I'm just being diverse. But will there ever be a woman that can play men's football? And I'm telling you now, I think yes. If you follow women's football like I do, and I don't follow it for the reason many of you think I do. My daughter actually plays football and she's pretty good. She has played in boys football for most of her career, as well as playing girls football. So I just think that there will be a woman at some point that plays men's football. I'm not saying the Premier League, but I don't know whether you ever watched, like, I think that there will be one that can, and actually it should be allowed as well. Why shouldn't it be allowed? You know, fouls are almost illegal in football now anyway, so the physical side of it will be the technical side of it. I can see there being a female player playing in professional football in the English game in the next 10 years. There you go. I'm not saying the Premier League. I think that's ridiculous, but and I only think it's ridiculous because I think the Premier League is elite male football, and could a female run in 100 metres men's final? No, physically it's very, very unlikely. But I do think a lower standard of football, the best female footballer there will be a level that they can play at. And I don't want people saying pub football or anything like that, but I genuinely think that will happen. Thoughts on Tierney's performance despite losing, says Daniel. Scotland have defended okay, but attacking wise they've been absolutely crap. And also, less than 4% of people even tried the women's mode in the last FIFA. No one is interested in the women's game, so they're trying to force it to us as well, says Al. And women going to outmuscle men as well. Women could outmuscle Van Dijk. Anyway, Scotland haven't made a game of this, everybody. I'd love it if they had done. But... you know, their passion without talent at the moment. It's been embarrassing for those Scottish people who, you know, I like. And but it's a massive game for them. It's not as big for England. It's a bit like Man United against Leeds. It's a massive game, but Man United don't really care about it as much as Leeds fans. And this is a massive game for Scotland, and England fans don't really care about it as much as them. So I would have expected more from Scotland. They're about to qualify for the Euros, aren't they? If you want to know what the latest is in the Norway game, which is they're beating Georgia 2-0. So I don't think they qualify with Norway winning. But I would have expected a little bit more from Scotland. They've not been very good. Mark, what's going to stop us winning is Southgate by picking people like Harry Maguire. When Man United play England, play better without him playing, says Martin Saunders. Yeah, well, Southgate is the issue. If you weren't tuning in the first half, I made a great point. I think England have had their Spain. You know, when Spain were really good for 2 Euros in the World Cup around 2010, they were the best team in the world for about 4 years. I genuinely think England should have won the Euros in 2020, the World Cup in 22, and the Euros this next year as well. I think that was our time. And I hope that I'm wrong, because if I'm right, the younger generation who are in their teens and their 20s are going to have what we had in 2002. We should have won the World Cup in 2002, and the manager fucked it. We were 1-0 up against Brazil, and we ended up losing 2-1, and they played the whole second half with Ronaldinho sent off. Not just 10 men, but arguably their best player sent off, and we lost. And then Brazil went and won the World Cup. We should have, and that was the golden generation, you know, Gerrard, Beckham, Scholes, etc. So, you know, in my lifetime, England have already missed out on a World Cup because of a coach that didn't get the best out of the talent that we had. And we should have won the Euros. We should have won the Euros at Wembley. That was ridiculous not to win that. And the World Cup, look, I get it. Argentina were absolutely obsessed, but we should have beat France. And I think we've got to win the Euros next year as well. We should sub on for the second half, says Daniel. I don't know who that is, and it's probably a name that says something rude. And are you a chess fan, says Adam. I'm very, very good at chess. Like I'm quite good at a lot of things, but I haven't played chess in a long time. The frustrating thing about chess is I will beat an amateur, like a stick beats a tree. That would be a stick hitting a tree is cannibalism. You know, have you ever thought about that? An axe that chops down a tree if it's wooden handled, it's cannibalism. Never thought about that, have you? I admit I hadn't. I mean, there's metal involved, but an axe chopping down a tree is effectively like a human shooting another human or stabbing. It's murder. It's cannibalism. Are you okay, Mark? Says Will. Probably not. Oh, there's psychiatrists having a bloody field day. They've been having it for years. The metal part does the damage, but the wooden part puts the force in, Mark. Without the metal cannot operate without the wood. Anyway, I've completely forgotten my point. Who do you think is the best Man United player? Boring. And imagine a Pep, Klopp or De Zerbi managing this England side, says Eric. You've just imagined England winning the World Cup or the Euros. This England team, not necessarily that specific one, but this England squad would walk the Euros of the last Euros, the next Euros and the World Cup. You had a decent coach, we would win. Piece of piss. And we nearly did it with bloody Southgate in charge. Southgate would not get a job in the Premier League. Absolutely not. I don't know what... I was having this argument on the podcast with Will and Angry Ginge today because they're pro-Southgate. And I said, I don't care whether you're being pro-Southgate. I think you're pro-Southgate because he's a nice guy or you like his hair or his clothing. I don't know. But you don't like him because he's a good coach. Realistically, football's about winning. That's what it's about. And I know for a fact that England's squad would win the World Cup and the Euros if we had a decent coach because we've got a better squad than everybody else. But Southgate's not good enough. Oh, he's fucking bringing Maguire on. Oh my God. What has Maguire got on Southgate? What is that all about? Why does he bring him on? Mark, will the chart show be back this season? Says Zach. That's a good point. You know why he's bringing Maguire on? Because it's bloody easy. That's why. Why is Maguire coming on? Two 2-0 up against Scotland. He could bring Colwell on. Or who else is on the bench? I'm just having a look who's on the bench here. This makes absolutely no sense. We're 2-0 up in a friendly and he's bringing on Maguire, his first choice centre-back, when he's got Tomori and Colwell on the bench. Bloody ridiculous. Absolute prat. He's an absolute prat. Colwell and Tomori are on the bench and he brings fucking Harry Maguire on, who never plays for Manchester United. Makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me. They're in a relationship, says Pontus. Well, I've just said he's his foster son. He's took off... I can't pronounce his name. Is it Guehi? I don't know how you pronounce it, but I just don't get that. A bloody friendly. You're 2-0 up at half time and you bring on your first choice centre back who's just played a game on Saturday when you could be trying out new players. I mean, the guy's just a bloody prat. I'm sorry. If he don't win the Euros, he's fucked this generation. He really has. You know what? The England national team is now is pre-season for Maguire. It's a pre-season bloody. We're using Maguire and Southgate are now using England games to keep him fit. That's incredible. England's meant to be the best of the best, and we're giving Harry Maguire minutes to keep him fit, and Calvin Phillips. It's corrupt. It's bloody corrupt. Stop moaning, says Essex boy. You're not Essex boy though, are you? You're probably related to Southgate. Mate, I'm not moaning. I'm a genius, and we're managed by a Pratt. I mean, on no level. Maguire played on Saturday for 90 minutes. If Maguire was a first team player for Man United, I'd be furious. Why are you bringing him on anyway? Why are you risking an injury to a Man United player when you could be playing Colwill or Tomori? Fucking hell. I wouldn't even bother turning up. I wouldn't turn up. Southgate seems to make every possible incorrect decision that any half-competent casual football fan would not make. It's unbelievable, says Zaid. Well, look, in relation to the Ukraine game, some people were just saying, what was his team against Ukraine? Well, it's a very good point because I didn't watch it either. But his starting lineup against the Ukraine, if I can just find it for you, was at the back he played Maguire and Guehi. So Colwill and Tomori have been given no time. They didn't come on against Ukraine, and they've not been given any time here as well. So he's given 0 minutes to Colwill and Tomori, but Guehi and Maguire have both played a game and a half. He just doesn't know what he's doing. He does not know what he is doing. Bobby Moore Beckenbauer coming on for England. Oh no, it's Maguire, says Ian Nichols. And with Maguire on, how many goals do England concede? Says Anne. Well, Scotland are that bad. We probably still won't concede. And Nketiah should come on as well, says Brett. I agree. You know, again, Harry Kane should be taken off at some point and give Nketiah a run out. Mark's got a Rashford agenda, says C. Yeah, you don't watch the United stand, and we haven't even mentioned Marcus Rashford, so I don't know what you're on about, you knobhead. And the back for England already looking creaky, says Pathetic. 4 right-footed defenders, says King. Will you be buying EAFC 24, says Jake? I think I will. You know, I haven't really played FIFA for a few months. I stopped doing my career mode. And I've got to say, I've sort of got the bug to do it again. I've got a few ideas about what to do. I'll tell you what, I loved the Man United career modes, but my favourite career mode was the very first Creator Club. Kent, Goldbridge, what was his name? Oh, what was his name? The winger. Began with a P. It wasn't Prowse. That's why I'm thinking. It's not Proctor. Was it Proctor? I think it was Proctor. What was the centre back called as well? Played left centre back. Kent was a legend. Yeah. Those days. I'll tell you what. I'm happy so many people in the chat know who I'm talking about. Favourite foreign dessert: Danish swirl or Finnish? I don't know. Dixie. And Hansen. That was it. Yeah. I almost felt Kent was real. That's how good that Creator Club was. And it made the next year not as good because he wasn't there. Aidan says it's not over till it's over, remember. Yeah, we're going to roll it back. Hi, Mark. Will the podcast ever have full video format, says James? I think it will, James, but we've only been doing the podcast for, I think this was episode 5 or 6. So in podcast terms, it's very early days for us. So make sure you download it and give it a listen, or don't download it and give it a listen. Links in the live chat or the video description. Bird was awful, says Stu. He was almost the Fred of the team, Bird, wasn't he? Dale was another one. Proctor was the Beckham of the team. Kent was good. Proc to the doctor. That career mode must be around somewhere, Gianluca. That TUSFC career mode was great. I might go. You know what? I might go back and watch that. How sad is that to go back and watch a career mode of a creator club? It must be on the channel somewhere. I'm going to search it on YouTube. I'm sure we had highlights. TUSFC FIFA. Yeah, FIFA 22 creator club. 21st of November 2021. I'm going to click on it. Ain't nobody going to stop me. 328,000 views. The fuck? Oh, it's FIFA 22 Creator Club Career Mode, Goldbridge, Episode 1. And we were in the Championship. Oh, I'm going to stop. I'm going to watch this tonight. I'm going to roll this back. Oh, yes. I'm going to roll this back. Ooh, I'm getting the shakes. I'm so happy. Anyway, back to real life. Escapism. Scotland are attacking a lot more now. If you don't know what we're on about, then you'll be able to see it all again in real time very, very soon. EAFC's out very soon. 52 episodes. Yeah, I think the first season we were in the Championship. Well, we were in the Championship. The best moment was when Goldbridge wore a full kit at Leeds, says Yannick. And will you ever have girls in FIFA? Says Pat. God. We've got loads of people trying to catch me out with the combination of names here. That's not a bad one. His first name's Pat and the second one is Miaz. Pat Miaz, I suppose. Pat my arse. Can you create a girlfriend in EAFC 24, says Adrian. I suppose technically you could. Put her up front with you and every time they score you could do the hug celebration. It won't get any better than that. There'll be no heavy petting. Hi Mark, just tuned in. How's Rashford been, says Manchild. Rashford's actually been alright. He's on the ball now. He's been okay. Just played a nice ball into Bellingham, into Foden. Oh, he missed the run of Rashford there. Did you see it? Goldbridge ball, that would have been into Rashford. Did you see that ball there that was on? When Foden never saw it, unfortunately. Oh, that would have been a great goal. Proc to the doctor and Noah, he's only 17. Mbamba, yes, Jackie boy, I remember him. Premier League point of view says, is Beto a success at Everton? How the bloody hell do I know? You've only just signed him. You need him to. The Thunderdome. Oh, yeah. Roll it back. The Thunderdome. I'm a big fan, even though I'm a Wolves fan, says Luke. But that's football. Everybody's welcome here. Scotland get battered everywhere they go. Says Football Edits. Do you think the younger players who are constantly passed over by Prattgate for his favourites should retire from international football to make a point to the FA, says Navin? Oh, can you imagine doing that, though? Look at the way, you can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, look at what Sancho's done. Right, I'm bored of this comment now. Man of the match so far, says the True Show. I would say, for me, a Bellingham or a Foden. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Jude Bellingham anyway, but I've been disappointed with Scotland. But it's it's also there's a big skill gap, isn't there? This is the thing about England. Like, England have got much better players than Scotland. Mark Wilson said, did you confirm how many cats could take down a dog? I really think you've got to get into double figures I think you need at least 10 cats to take down a dog. Because when a dog gets really aggressive, their neck is fast and their mouth is lethal. Imagine Tamori actually deciding to retire, says Asif's internationally. Here's Bellingham on the wing. Lays it into Rashford. I do think sometimes some of these players are so eager to play the pass they think is right. They don't get their heads up. Like Rashford there just was fixated on giving the ball to the player on the left when actually he could have opened his body up and got a shot off. I suppose that's a skill set though, isn't it? Those players who can scan before they get the ball. Some players can't do it. Mark, you need to hear the fans when Maguire gets the ball, says Kyle. But it's an away ground, you know. I'm not surprised. He's got a lot of tattoos. Rashford or Vinny, says Hallam. But this is where occasionally I will put club loyalty aside. I mean, Vinicius Junior is better than Rashford. I think he's arguably. Well, it's not arguably. I'm not going to argue with myself. I don't sit there going, you know what? I think Vinicius Junior is one of your best players that you like. But Vinicius Junior is one of my favourite players in world football. So for me, he's better than Rashford. And I like Rashford, but I just think Vinicius Junior is brilliant. So yeah, even I would say that and admit it. Can you shout out our channel, Big More Leicester TV, the Leicester More stand? There we go. How are you doing? Have you got a tattoo, Mark? Says Seth. No, I'm one of the anti-tattoo brigade. We're a dying breed. I don't really care about people having tattoos. I just wouldn't have one. I've never wanted one. I won't have one. I've never considered getting one. But I did pierce my ear when I was about 16, and I did it round a friend's house. I basically, it was a girlfriend. I'd never let a man touch my earlobes in that way. But no, I was about 17 and I was round a girl's house, and she said, "I think you'd look good with an earring," and I went, "I think you're right." And I thought, obviously it might help me in other areas, so I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So she got this ice cube on my ear, and then stuck a needle through it, and then put an earring in it, and I went home, and basically my stepdad said, "If you don't take that out, I'm going to rip it out." And I said, "It's fashion. I'm not. You can't put a price on fashion." And he said, "You'll be putting a plaster on fashion because I'm going to rip it out." And I said, "You're not." I locked myself in the bathroom. And I realised he was probably going to bang the bathroom door down. So I said, "Fine, I'll take it out." So, but you've got to make a stand for things that are important. And for that 30 seconds, I was adamant I was going to keep it. But then I realised he was going to break the door down. And if he was going to break the door down, he was definitely going to take the earring out. And, as much as I was unhappy at the time, looking back, I'm very happy that happened. Because I can't imagine me with an earring. Imagine me sat with an earring now. I've got nothing against people who wear them, but hi Mark, you promised a That's Football live show once you hit 1 million, patiently waiting. It'll happen, Drex, it'll happen. When a dog gets really aggressive, their neck is fast and their mouth is lethal. Mark, you just described my girlfriend, says Navin. Well, the fast neck's probably quite good. I don't know why I started moving it. Laser sharp, why? I don't know what you're on about. And I don't know, yeah. Yeah, so not in for tattoos, but nearly had an earring. Yeah, I was going to go for the Pat Butcher thing, a big couple. No, I wasn't going to have 2 earrings. Bloody hell! Imagine, no, it was just one. And it was at the time when Damon Albarn had one in Blur. It was the mid-90s. I wasn't going to put like a bloody the ones that your gran wears. I'm all in, says tattoos scream of insecurity. Most look trash. You've probably offended, I would say, at least 30% of this chat. It was a J special. It was literally that, Jack. Yes. Is our name too wordy? Big More Leicester Fan TV. I'd get rid of more. If you're asking me for the name of your channel, I'd just do Leicester Fan TV. Southgate and Maguire are like Brokeback Mountain, says Sunjay. Some people get offended by that. I love Watchalong for games you don't really care about, to be honest, because we go off talking about more random stuff and it makes it more fun, says Nathan Allen. I do as well. I'd be bored shitless watching this game on my own. Thanks for tuning in. Did you turn off gifting memberships, says Barmer? And how good is Bellingham, says Laser Shop? No, I don't think we have. Have a look. You're the first person. You're not the first person to ask that tonight. No, still there. I haven't seen anybody gift a membership tonight, but I think it's still working. Might be a glitch in the system. Leicester Moor stand says, I sit in the Moor stand, so we're big Moor Leicester Fan TV. Yeah, I know. I'm not asking for your life story. You asked me for advice. I said I'd get rid of the big Moor. But if you're happy with it, keep it. More cooking videos, Mark. Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, Tracy Taylor's just gifted a membership, so that works. Are you going to do Wolves versus Liverpool watch along, says Dale? I might. I think I might do that on Saturday lunchtime. I was looking at that, and there would be time to do it before the United game. So I think I might do Wolves less Liverpool on Saturday. It's been a long time without Premier League football. I wouldn't normally do that game, but I think I will. I don't know why it's not working for you, Barmer. Maybe on mobile. I don't know. Zachary says, what are your plans for the Mark Goldbridge channel? I'll just tell you as an exclusive. That's where I'm going to be doing the FIFA videos live on YouTube. I'm not doing it on Twitch this year. It's coming back. I ain't fucking leaving. I've done 2 years on Twitch doing FIFA. I'm bringing the YouTube FIFA streams back, or EA, but it's going to be on the Mark Goldbridge channel. So you've had an exclusive tonight. I got nothing against Twitch, but it's like it's what it's been like. I used to do. Hold on, Scotland nearly scored. Good block. What I associate it with? I used to do FIFA live streams during COVID, and we'd have like 25,000 people tuning in, and it's like being with a girl in my case, which would be my wife, and everything's good and familiar, and then you go with somebody else and it's quite good, but you long for the thing that was better. And therefore, as much as I've enjoyed doing the FIFA streams on Twitch, it was never quite the same as YouTube, so I'm bringing it back. But I'm not going to do it on That's Football, because That's Football has become very much about real football. But I have got a YouTube channel called the Mark Goldbridge channel, so I'm going to do the FIFA stuff on there. Mark, what do I get for a tattoo of you on my thigh, says the Lonely Loner? Probably Locked Up, I would say. I think Dunk has proven himself tonight that he's better than Harry Maguire. Mark, will you watch the Rugby World Cup? I don't know, James. I tend to do get attracted by those sort of tournaments. Royal Mail X says, that was so weird, Mark. I was just about to ask about your FIFA stuff. So good to hear it's coming back to YouTube. Hope all is well, mate. Thank you. And I just think as well, I don't mind Twitch, but I'm so used to YouTube and how the chat works, and it's easier to read, and yeah, so that's what we're doing. What size feet are you, says Lewis Smith? 9. Oyedele is a fantastic player in the United Academy, says Daniel. Well, I've heard of him. I don't watch a lot of the youth to know. I'll trust you on that, but I have heard of him. And what about Pies, says Daniel. Oh, he'll come back. Bellingham's cross over here. England have been a bit lazy in the second half here. Would you rather be chased by a polar bear or shark in the water, says the Spurs way. Either way, I'm finished. Go! Oh, God. God. Oh, you know what? I feel sorry for him at this point. He is going to hate that. Maguire has scored for Scotland. It's a great... Even Steve Clarke's clapping it. This sort of thing isn't why he's not very good. These sort of things are... Oh, it's a great finish. This is the sort of thing that is just bad luck, in my opinion. But it's the sort of thing people who are a bit sensationalist will say, well, that's why he's so crap. That's not as crap as not marking your player and leaving them free. But basically, a cross has gone in and Maguire's scored. And you can't write it. And he'll be devastated. I actually feel sorry for him there. I blame Southgate. He shouldn't even be on the fucking pitch. That's what happens when you get favourites. You expose them. You know, at the end of the day, Maguire played on Saturday. And he's brought him on in the second half. And Tomori and Colwell have played no minutes. So his favouritism has actually fucked his favourite. He's actually fucked himself and the player by being overly favouritism. He shouldn't even be on the fucking pitch. And then he doesn't make the mistake that makes him look a dickhead and makes Maguire look an idiot. It's just bad management. Oh dear. Oh dear. Mark, if you were England manager tomorrow, what would you change about the current squad, says Laser Sharp? Well, the biggest change has just happened. Southgate's not in charge. I feel sorry for us. He's going to bring his bad luck back to United, says Les. And it's football heritage, says AJ. Ali. Slow Sports News says, good evening all. Let's look past the Maguire own goal and listen to Mark Goldbridge Saves Football. It'll make up for that, says Slow Sports News. Yep, thank you everybody. Check out that. Look, as I said, look, I actually feel sorry for Maguire that he's been jeered since he came on. I mean, look, please tell me what the hell Southgate is doing. Maguire is playing in the first team for England in the game against Ukraine. We're 2-0 up at half-time in a friendly. He's not given Tomori or Colwell 1 minute, and he brings Maguire on, who gets jeered constantly and then scores an own goal. I mean, you love Maguire so much that you've thrown him into a situation that's going to damage his confidence and make everybody realise he's shit. I mean, it's just terrible managing. He's an idiot. He's an absolute prat as a coach. Calvin Phillips getting game time because he manages like a bloody... It's like a bloody family. It's complete and utter nepotism. The Royal Mail X has just gifted 10 memberships. You're a legend. Phelan said he could score goals, says the Contrarian. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're back with Champions League watch-alongs next week. And, of course, Premier League ones at the weekend. What do you think of West Ham this season, says John. They're doing very, very well. Southgate sees himself in Maguire. That's why, says Mr. Yeah, Southgate cost us a bloody Euros as well, Mr. fucking penalty. People forget that. As a player, he cost us a bloody tournament. Gareth Southgate, costing England trophies since 1996. Harry Maguire, your goalkeeper's terrified, says Jackie. To be fair to Maguire, it was very similar to Foden's finish, just at the wrong end. I think Saka's come on now. It's very rare that I feel sorry for Maguire, but he probably won't realise it. But Southgate's fucked him this game. Never should have brought him on. And we've still got 20 minutes for Scotland to get an equaliser in a game where, let's have a look at the stats here. They've barely been in it. What's it? I mean, they haven't even had a shot on target, Scotland. And they've managed to get into a game with 20 minutes to go that we should have put to... I mean, then again, we've only had 2 on target. A How to Win Trophies with England book by Southgate. Never going to get written, the Lonely Loner, is it? Never going to get written. Southgate ball isn't even on the level of Ollie ball. As long as he's in charge, England won't win anything. England's basically the Spurs of the national team, says Navin. And 90%... Oh, here we go. Here we go. 3-1. Oh, he's missed it. Was that Eze? 3-1 on 1. Good save by the keeper. Uh, 90% of the times you've been baited, it's me. Have probably done you about 25 times. Used to be Sonaldo. I've got a compilation saved, says Hayward. Well done. Eddie never misses. And surely we don't take Maguire to the Euros, says Isaac. Well, he will go to the bloody Euros because you know what Southgate's doing? I can read him like a book. And a very boring book. He will not pick Colwill because if he picks Colwill, the press will say left-footed centre-back playing at left side centre-back. He's really good. He needs to play. So he won't pick Colwill. He won't pick Tomori for the reason that he doesn't want them to play and play well because then there'll be a demand. I mean, look, Maguire is on the thinnest of ice. He doesn't get picked for Man United and yet Southgate still starts him for England. The minute Southgate picks Colwill, who starts for Chelsea and is left-footed, everybody is going to say, you've got to pick Colwill, and then he can't pick Maguire. So this is what Southgate's doing. And he ain't clever enough to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. He couldn't pull the wool over a sheep's eyes, and they've got wool all over their bloody body. He will not pick Colwill because he doesn't want him to play well for England, so then he has to pick him. You know it's true. That's why there's a load of hearts in the chat. Doing the same with Calvin Phillips as well, says Liam. It's disgusting that we have an England coach that suppresses talent so he can keep his favourites playing. And yet Colwell's playing every week for Chelsea. And the contrast is, obviously, as we know, the likes of Phillips and Maguire don't even get bloody picked. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. You're all welcome. Imagine McTominay scores the equaliser, says Jackie. I'd start with... I'd be happy with imagining Scott McTominay was actually playing. Because I haven't seen him at all in this game. He's been very quiet. Bellingham! Wow, we've had the 2 best chances here. Decent shots. Straight at the keeper. England have been a bit leggy this second half. Scooby-Doo. I hate the international break. This was interesting because it was a, Scotland, England. But will you watch the Milan derby this weekend? Even without Onana, Inter still look strong and are playing very well. Forza Inter, says OP. Depends what time it is on. Because, you know what? I don't want to depress people, but there's 2 more international breaks. I fucking hate them. I can't describe to you how much I hate them. The next one's not too bad because we have got Italy. Got a game against Australia as well. Fucking hell. Australia and Italy in the next one. And then Malta and North Macedonia in November. Fucking hell. Who decides this nonsense? It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Alex says, if you're in the Australian outback, I love these sort of questions. If you're in the Australian outback, would you rather be bitten by an unidentified spider or an unidentified snake? What I will tell you is I will kill both if they bite me. So, know that I might die, but you will die. And I think I've got the right to do that. And you can call the RSPCA. I don't know whether they cover spiders. It's a bit like an insurance cover. They won't cover... Certain insurance companies won't cover you if you go skydiving. But I tell you what, if that unidentified spider or snake bites me, I'm stamping on its head. I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, there are consequences to biting. And would I rather be bitten by an unidentified snake or spider? Probably a snake, because you can do that thing where you go... spit it out. Would Maguire help a team like Wolves, says Luke? And what if they bite you when you're sleeping, says Varun? Well, I probably wouldn't know. That's a myth, Mark, says Tomo. Phoenix says it doesn't work. Snapdragon will be United's new shirt sponsor starting next season, says Khalid. Here's Saka. What does that mean for United? It could mean that we've got the Glazers staying. Who will win the Ballon d'Or first, Bellingham or Mbappe, says Gary? I'd probably, if I was I want Bellingham to win it, but if I was a betting person, I would say Mbappe. How many spiders would it take to beat a snake in a fight? Depends on the breed. Who'd win, a thumb war, Slabhead or Boris Johnson, says DS. And Jay says, I saw Maguire own goal on the score and just burst out laughing. He's pointing. He's pointing again. Maguire's pointing again. I've never understood. Can I just say this? This is nothing against Maguire, which is unusual. But I've never understood a player that points. I've never understood it and I've never liked it. Why would you point? It's the biggest giveaway to the opposition. You know when you've got the ball and you point, you're telling them where you're going to pass. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Funny fact, there are so many kangaroos in Australia, if they invaded Uruguay, each Uruguayan would need to defeat 12 kangaroos. If that's true, it's crazy, Les, and it's that sort of stat that makes me happy I'm alive. Apparently, there are 12... Oh, Harry Kane, goal, 3-1, good finish. And I think it's Bellingham with the assist again. I tell you what, Bellingham's definitely getting a bit arrogant, isn't he? You know, he's loving life. And I think he's enjoyed beating Scotland. Shithousery, they call it, and I'm here for it. Brilliant skill. Oh, he's just so good. Bellingham's just on a different planet. He is. He is. Bellingham is just on a different planet. Just unbelievable skill there. He's so good. I mean, what did we do to create Bellingham? Well, nothing. It was nothing to do with us. It was his mum and dad. But he is unbelievable talent. Unbelievable. I said this on Twitter last week. I had it with Gaza when I was a kid. Like this generational talent when I was like 8 or 9 that was just worldly good who happened to be English. Well, however old you are going to see that with Jude Bellingham. And if you are like 10 or 15 or 20, then you've got that for your formative years. It's incredible. Yellow bathing suit says it looks like you accepted the bribe from Danny Aarons. Yellow bathing suit, the bribe from Danny Aarons. I told him in the match. I told him already. He was already starting. The team had already been picked. Ferry says, is Maguire underrated or overrated? Mate, he is the definition of overrated. I mean, he starts for England. He's overrated. He doesn't start for Man United. Bellingham is unreal. Can't believe he's only 20, says Ag. Callum Wilson's coming on now. See, Southgate will only sub Harry Kane when there's about 8 minutes to go as well. He's not interested in giving anybody a chance. It's always the favourites. Scott McTominay has been the invisible man tonight. I don't know if I think he's still on. Maguire latest 2 goals are for Sevilla and Scotland, says the Lonely Loner. Bellingham or Gabby, says Queen. I would go with Jude Bellingham. Goldbridge saves Maguire. It would be a good TV series. Goldbridge Saves Football podcast branches out to TV documentary series where he tries to save footballers' careers. He's now the captain of England, Harry Maguire. He's got the fucking armband on. Oh, I don't get it. I just do not get it. Thank God he doesn't get picked for Man United much anymore, and it's only England. Would you rather sell Slabad or Scooby, says Luke. Well, I tell you what, the first thing I'm going to do on my Man United career mode on EAFC is sell Maguire and McTominay, like literally the first thing. Germany are winning against France right now, says Saldi. Congratulations on 1 million subs, says Josh. Thanks, pal. Scotland's man of the match, Harry Maguire. Only shot on target. How well do you think Zerbi would do in a top 6 club, says Ma? Well, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure he'll get that opportunity, but, you know, a lot of what Brighton do is based on how well they're run as a football club. Let's not forget, you know, Potter didn't fare that well at... I mean, you know, Harry Maguire is the only Scottish player to have a shot on target. Incredible. Messi will win the Ballon d'Or. Should have given Declan Rice the armband. 100%. 100%. I'm with you. Wow. My name is... So still 5 minutes to go here. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me to find out McTominay left the squad a couple of minutes before kickoff due to injury and no one's told anyone, says Justin. Wow, you know what? It was a wank. I mean, sorry, it was a love-in at the start of the game on Channel 4. They had Ali McCoy, Graham Souness, and they were just playing clip after Scott McTominay, like he was bloody the Scottish Messi. And he's more like the Scottish Mudrick, overhyped. Greetings from Germany. Keep up the good work, says CD. I couldn't believe it, you know, because as a United fan, I know exactly how good Scott McTominay is, and they're hyping him up like he's some sort of bloody superstar. This is what happens when you overhype things that aren't that good. I remember going around my grand's once, rest in peace, and she wouldn't shut up about these bloody... what were they? She said, they're amazing. They're the best things ever. If you like hobnobs, you're going to love these. If you like jammy dodgers, you're going to love these. And I was like, you're hyping it up way too much. And it was these things. I don't even know what they were called. They were like chocolate with marshmallow in, but biscuit on the bottom. And they were in a wrapper that had silver and red on it. And you opened them up and they were like biscuit on the bottom, marshmallow, but it was all covered in chocolate. And... oh, God, she was hyping them up. I mean, they were okay. They were okay, but, yeah, they weren't better than a hobnob. I mean, hobnob is the Messi of biscuits, and that was what she gave me. Just the McTominay. Is Sancho going to play against Brighton, says Joey? Don't know. I don't pick the team. Tea cakes, that's what they were called. Yeah, Tunnock's tea cakes, that's it. They're basically just a wagon wheel. Condensed. I'm not saying there was anything wrong with them, but she overhyped it. And in McTominay's case, it would be like trying to compare a rich tea biscuit to a hobnob. Really. I haven't had them in ages. See, actually, I think I might have misjudged my gran. You know, I've slagged her off and she has died years ago. She's fine. She's all right about it now. But those tea cakes were nice, and I actually would eat one now. It's unfair to, you know, associate McTominay with that. Rich teas are crap. 420. He says rich teas. Oh, you know people who like rich tea biscuits. I feel like the person who likes playing on them Etch-a-Sketch things, or likes playing with a piece of paper and pen, and you show them a PlayStation. Like, it will blow their mind. Like rich tea. I don't mind if you like rich tea biscuits, but it's like playing with a pen and paper, and then I bring you a PS5. That's what like it. That's the upgrade with a hobnob. Got nothing against rich tea biscuits, but they're boring and bland. I mean, if you're hungry, you're going to eat them. Chocolate chip cupcake. You know, if you get the proper finest, like from Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever, you know those cookies that have like nuts and a bit of a cranberry in and stuff like that at Christmas. Oh, get in. I tell you what, I've started eating lately, and I'm not meant to because they're meant to be for the kids. But I've found the secret chocolate cupboard. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club. I don't know where the missus got them from, but she's got these orange clubs. She don't watch this, so I'll be fine. And she's got a cupboard where she keeps all the jammy dodgers, wagon wheels, and she's bought some clubs. And I was like, oh, I've had 2. I'll get away with that. I'll blame it on the oldest. Yeah, orange club, brilliant. Oh, you know, it's so nostalgic. I'm hoping like next week I go in there and they've got a trio. Who remembers trios? I don't think they even make trios anymore. Oh, lovely. I tell you what, if she gets some 5-4-3-2 ons, I'm absolutely going to lose my shit. What are your thoughts on After 8 mints? I used to like them as a kid. Now I find the mint very synthetic. I like mint ice cream, but you can get very synthetic mint. The only synthetic mint I like is that shower gel, the green one. Oh, that'll freshen you up. Especially if you rub it in certain areas. That is the best shower gel. I love it. I'd love to get a sponsorship deal with them. That mint shower gel. I would actually do a shower advert for it. Brilliant. Love it. Tea Tree Elite, I think it's called. I don't know what it's called. Basically, I like any biscuit you can dip in a tea. You can't dip a Jaffa cake, and that's what puts me off them. Ben says Fox's Classic Bar or Gold Bar was my childhood. They were good. They were good. They were good. Mince pies, I like them at Christmas. Who eats mince pies in the summer or April? But at Christmas, I'll have one. Great game from Maguire, says Silver. Well, we've only got 3 minutes added on, which is great. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're going to be back by your demand doing Wolves against Liverpool on Saturday lunchtime. That's our next live watch-along. But tomorrow, check it out at 2 o'clock. What a video we've got coming in. It's massive. It's absolutely huge. It's a football challenge video. The Cal the Dragon one is on the video, is on the channel already from last Friday. It's a new YouTuber tomorrow doing one. And also the podcast. Make sure you give the podcast a listen. I think it's probably our best podcast episode yet. Links in the live chat and in the video description, or just search Goldbridge Saves Football. Give it a download, give it a listen. It was a really good episode today, and some real insight into the Sidemen game from me and Angry Ginge as well. So give that a listen. Angry Ginge was on it as well. It was very funny. Goldbridge Saves Football new podcast is out. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribed. I love how I've managed to finish my 10 kilometre run in the past hour while listening to you. Motivational bridge, says Navin. I'm glad I'm motivated. I wish I could get the benefits of the calories instead of sitting on my arse. Did Maguire actually score an own goal? Yes. Absolutely crap performance. Colwell and Tamori got no minutes in 2 games. What is the point? What is the point? Anyway, speak to you all later. Don't forget to listen to the podcast, and don't forget to keep your eye out for the football challenge tomorrow. Subscribe and get your notifications on. You'll really enjoy it. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you all in a bit.